Hi. I actually wrote 3 journals on 7/31, and this is the last one. That day, Mayan day, was for Earth. 4 is a sacred number. It's the north, south, east, and west. It's the number of Earth all by itself, and then when you add to it, it was the day of Earth. That's a very grounding kind of an energy. So let's see what comes up in this journal. I forget them as soon as I write them, much less days later. All right. Okay, gotta admit it. I'm here just to find out if this journal comes out anything like that last one about the hop, or for that matter, the one after, about the great shift, if it was to come tomorrow. You know, one thing that keeps coming clear to me in writing these journals is that I don't know myself. How about you? Are you noticing that? Journal a bit, you will. Now, I have to say, the changes seem much more subtle when I don't journal. I just find that unaided by the journal process, I don't seem able to really see or tune in to the depth of the continual changes going on. As soon as I start journaling, though, it becomes pretty clear and often surprising. You'll find you have a new measure of clarity around something or other that you just didn't have before. It's neat, if a bit strange, making all of these changes so very fast. Oh well. One thing that's really good about the internet is the way we all get to connect up. That's the thing that almost gives some of us our sanity back. Now, what I mean is that until we realize that there are loads of others going through pretty much just what we are, and just when we are, we tend to take these things personally. And it's quite a different matter if you think you're the only one going through it. That makes it heavy and hard, and you look and wonder, what's wrong with me? How did I bring this on? And all that kind of little trail you can follow. It feels so good to have company, doesn't it? That way, even if we are insane, at least we're insane together, and that just makes it nicer. No, really, what we're discovering together gives us the strength to point to the powers that were and their nonsense in our society and call it like it is: insane. Like the Olympic ceremonies I've heard about, totally out there, very much in your face to the light beings and just regular folks. There's that arrogance again, as if the people will just take it and keep coming, keep paying, keep buying the garbage in their expensive commercials. So many of us are waking up. Now, my bet is that we'll get quite a few more just in rebellion to this new message they're putting out. After a while, their darkness gets through even to the sleeple, waking them up. And we're out there too, my friends. So many of us are putting our stuff out on the internet, just simple heart-sharing sort of things like these journals. And that has a real power. It lifts people up, helps them raise their vibration on their own. A lot of the people, well, no, all that a lot of the people or sleeple need is a bit of support, and us being out there sharing our heart. Well, that's what that is. Others can ride in on our vibration. And hey, we're all one already, whether everyone knows it experientially or not. So it helps. This is more of how just being helps and assists our fellow humans. I should have that in quotes. Just your vibe, your radiation sends in an assist. When you meditate and get to that beautiful place Well, it's not just you who gets that lift. We're lifting the collective just in our self-awareness, our watching and observing. It's funny, but it seems that consciousness itself is something that can increase. Who'd have thunk it, huh? Consciousness, fill her up, please. Yeah, right. Well, sometimes that's about all I can say about a particular change I've been through. Like I feel there is somehow more of me here after. Go figure. Mine will never get that, but those in heart have a good shot. And it's so very comforting to know that no matter what happens to any of us, we're not alone. Others out there are having the very same experience. It's just awesome. Okay, I didn't think I was going to share this video that I found, but I guess I will. It's a short one on removing fluoride from the body, and it has some pretty inexpensive and simple ways to approach it. Do take it into your heart, though. Don't just dive in believing all that's said. Run it by heart. Ever since Fukushima erupted, I've been taking extra iodine. I want to get my thyroid full of it so it can't take on any radiation. That's the first place and the major place in the body the radiation goes to is the thyroid, and thus you find many thyroid cancers. Well, this video recommends taking kelp, which I'm already taking a good dose of. It recommends, of all things, boron, too, as in borax, would you believe? I knew it was just boron, but gosh, it seems strange to be taking it orally. Just in pinches, though, don't get carried away. That was Ken's message to me tonight, to back off a bit, both with the light therapy dream spa sessions and working with crystals as I have been. What this points out for me is that I'm resisting something. Right now, it's having a rather frail body. When we're totally in acceptance, we're not always pushing like I tend to do. My spirit is totally strong and it wants to charge ahead. But hey, this is 3D, and it's not just the spirit body I'm walking around using. So it appears that some of my challenges, which I was writing off a good bit to the solar wind, are also me pushing too hard. Well, I'm fessing up here to lead the way in us loving the self more and more, better and better. If it's not how you'd treat your ideal lover, then don't treat yourself like that. Simple kindness, folks. That's often what's missing. Just like we get desensitized to all sorts of dark and commercial things through television, movies, media, we're also desensitized to our horrible self-talk. Talk about unkind and things you'd never say to other people. Just listen to the self, the mind, and that's it. The mind is more than unkind. It's outright rude. So, I've got only good to report from coming off of both of them, TV and self-talk. Once we love the self free of those two, well, life gets a whole lot nicer pretty quickly. It's just lovely what it feels like to begin bringing real respect into the self. Like we feel worthy of that. It's amazing. Look for the worthlessness issues, friends. They pop up. We all have them. As a child, I really enjoyed offering respect to people. As a military brat, I really knew what respect was, at least externally, back then. It felt good having that to offer someone, a way to honor them. That's all that manners are, as a way of honoring and respecting. Children don't have much they can give to adults, but respect is free, and it's something special that feels good to give. I think that if we look, we'll probably see that we don't really respect the self very much. We've been programmed with ways and ways to look down on him or her, haven't we? Well, by planting an intent to offer true and deep respect to the self, it's a beautiful thing. It feels so very good. I just don't have words. Most of us might walk around with our physical head held high most of the time, but with our spirit or soul's head kind of hanging down. We've come a long way now to be able to see this, how we've all been almost divorced from our real and true self. Not only is separation practiced out there by the powers that were in just about everything, we also practice it on self. And that's kind of sad. It makes the inner being rather sad. Respect of the divine attribute sort is my prescription for this deep inner sadness. As you begin applying it to the self like an unguent of healing, I think you'll be amazed by the results. As we knit up our broken parts within, we bring more of the whole self to bear here in 3D. We may even get that feeling of being more conscious, and that's a strange one. Let me know if you know what I mean. Blessings, dear ones. Know that you are good enough, and far more than that, actually. Remember, we're divine. It's a bit of a long journey until we can really own that one experientially. We've been too deeply wounded and separated out from self by all of that programming we've endured. Well, we've come of age now, and we're simply walking away from the source of so much of that. We're taking our power back, and it feels really good. One last thing, as always, don't forget to enjoy, which should be spelled enjoy. And this is really important. I want you to consider this. Following your joy or bliss may be the most important thing you can do in your 3D life. Feel into that. Take it in. Yes, you are worthy, so worthy of simply following that which brings you the most joy. It's your right. It's even what you came in to do. It's also your inner guidance system. Enjoyment isn't just something we set aside for times of recreation. It's for all the time. Own it. You deserve it, so claim it. You have the right to walk through life pursuing your inner joy. Now, don't get this mixed up with the ego's drive for pleasure, of course. It's strictly a heart and not a head thing. And that won't be hard to discern, though. As you go by the sense or the feeling of it, more and more you'll just know. There's such a beautiful feeling of fulfillment that comes when we're on the right track. It's true food for the soul. Namaste.